Today's topic is a favorite of mine. It's under the heading honesty. Honesty, honesty, honesty. You know, we talked previously about trust and how important it was, probably the number one component of being an effective leader. But right after that is what I call honesty. Honesty and knowing that you've been honest, the person you're working with has been honest, we both agree we're honest. As you can see, it's an underpinning of the entire trust paradigm. So bottom line, what you'll be learning when you start diving into this topic of honesty is that it's pretty complex. Here's why. I use honesty in 3 different ways when I'm teaching leaders about how to be effective. So here are the 3 ways. The first one is, are you honest with yourself? Now there's a lot of folks who would say quickly, yes, but I'm not so sure it's true, because being honest with yourself means admitting your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, which we'll talk about in another session, and whether or not you have it all together, and you just can't fake it when you're not sure. So are you honest with yourself? Do you admit what you're good at and what you're not good at? So that's part 1, and that's an internal conversation. It's you talking to you. Are you in denial of certain things, or are you hidden or hiding behind certain beliefs that actually aren't true? The second part of honesty is whether or not you're able to be honest with others. That's a skill set for leadership. How do I address the people around me, my colleagues, my boss upstream, across, and certainly the direct reports to me? Am I a straight shooter? Am I honest at all the times? And how do I do honesty? Do I do it with brutality? You've heard that phrase, brutally honest. Or do you do it with compassion? And then the third level of honesty is what I call, do you know if others are honest with you? How do you know whether or not people are actually telling you the truth, especially if that truth is about you? Imagine as a leader, when people have information and they're afraid to be honest with you, what is it about you that's causing them to be fearful? How will you know if people are honest? One of the great tricks, by the way, in this final category of honesty from others is to look them in the eye and ask them, are you comfortable? Do you feel safe telling me everything? Can you be honest? If you haven't done the work with yourself at the core level, learning to be honest with yourself, learning to be gracious to yourself, learning to be forgiving to yourself, learning to admit what you may or may not know, it's going to be hard for you to do that with others. And certainly being honest requires a degree of attitude. Am I having an attitude of caring and kindness and compassion, or am I being one of those brutish thugs who just likes to hammer and hit and criticize? That makes a difference about your leadership quotient and your leadership brand. And so when you listen to these episodes, there's actually 3 of them in the Sheer Clarity podcast episode bag. So when you dive deep and have a conversation about honesty, it's going to be very enriching. And when you gather together as your team and you work through this together, you're going to have an interesting experience, because everybody's going to be wondering what's our honesty level and honesty index as we talk with each other. So enjoy this, and we'll see you again next time.